Okay, welcome back to another Katasa Healing Talk. And we have a special show again for you today. We'll be talking about the spirit senses, the things the muggle world got us to shut down in order to get us to go to sleep. And today we're going to talk about how to reverse that and wake them up and become awake again in this life as a human, which is a beautiful adventure. The full theme for the talk is an item of the list of ancient teachings that have been lost to the masses and are now being brought back. And this is the book the list is from, The Weavings, Dawn of a New World by K. Cudell Whitaker. And the theme goes to experience, learn, and utilize your many spirit senses, all of which must be felt and experienced in order for them to be unfolding, teaching, fruitful, ever improving, and understood. This is not an act of the linear mind. Okay, my name is Helmut. I am here with our beautiful friends Lora Ketty and Laura Philpott. Hi, guys. Mm-hmm. And of course, Kay Cudell Whitaker, the author of the Weavings book, as I just mentioned, and our fearless leader. All right, let's dive into the spirit senses. Welcome again, everybody. Enjoy.
The spirit senses. Well, that is it's actually a really, really huge topic. And it's as long as you want to study these spiritual kind of teachings, these ancient ways, there's enough spirit senses that'll probably take you your whole life to learn them all. So that's there's so many places to start talking about them. We have our physical senses that we're familiar with, that we know, and that we're using every day. And that's our touch and our taste and our hearing and our sight and our smell. And these are not spirit senses, they're physical senses. They're designed to make you perceive, so you are able to perceive the physical world that you are living in and the nature of what's around you. And this gives you a great deal of information to walk through your life in the physical world, to be able to tell pretty generally what's around you, what's there, what you need to do or not do. And they provide you with lots and lots and lots of information. In our modern culture, we have been learning to diminish our physical senses, to lower the volume, to just turn it down. And as a culture, we're pretty successful at that. We've learned all kinds of different ways to diminish our senses and learn how to not pay attention to our physical senses much at all. And they have diminished. Those who would want that to happen, who have engineered that to happen, they've been very successful for a very, very, very long time. And in our modern age, we have even increased the amount that we turn away from. We diminish our physical senses. We're not paying attention to them. We're not learning from them. We're not enjoying them. They're supposed to be fun. Yeah, we were designed for the physical senses to give us pleasure, and not only just pleasure, but we need our physical senses to procreate, to be able to have sex successfully and have offspring. This is the workings of your physical senses is a really big deal. And what the ancients teach, I've heard this said by others who are Egyptian, and they're tribal. They live around the edge of the city of Cairo, live in a very tribal way. They follow their ancient beliefs. Their story is that their people, their tribe, and other tribes used to live in the middle of ancient Egypt, in dynastic Egypt, and especially the temples. And when the temples started to become corrupt, they left. They left in masses, and they went out and joined these tribes or formed tribes of their own to keep their knowledge intact. They needed to start keeping it secret from the rest of the people in the temples and the rest of the Egypt. All the spirit senses, all the great things the physical senses can do and allow you to perceive. That was just, everybody knew that. That was what they were regularly taught on just all the time for so many centuries. But when the corruption came in the dynastic years, all of that started going away. The people who wanted corruption and wanted to corrupt the people wanted to diminish the senses so they could control the people. If you have really awake physical senses and spirit senses, you're not going to be controlled. You're going to be able to see, way past what the physical senses provide for you. So they needed to change that in the general population, and they pretty much succeeded. So we have the what these tribal people who still live throughout Egypt and the Sahara, the whole northern Africa, and up into the Middle East. They have the accepted modern religions that they all say, "Oh yes, I'm a Muslim. Yes, I'm a Muslim, and we're all good. We do all the things we're supposed to do. Don't do any of the bad things. We obey. We're really good." But in secret, in private, and this is so secret that if you divulge it to somebody else that isn't part of your family, your clan, your group, you could be killed. You would be killed. So it's been kept secret in lots of places around the world, and that's usually the method that the people used to keep it really, really secret from others, that if they knew about it, they'd misuse the teachings, or they would kill you because you knew the teachings and lived them. And they think that that is, they've been taught that's of the devil, that's hierarchical. That's not the word I want. Heresy. Heresy. Had an H. Had an H. So the thing that one of these things that they kept so secret is how many spirit senses we have. And they taught as many as they knew. Now this old tribal guy lived outside of Cairo. He was a tour guide, learned how to be a tour guide, was starting to become kind of famous. And he would teach the people that he was touring around all these ancient secrets. One of which was, he said, that the pre-flood Egyptians had 360 spirit senses that they knew about and used and taught to their children, and they learned about them as they grew up and in their own secret teachings. He said he personally could identify, it took him all his life to be able to identify that many. It was 30 something, like 35 different spirit senses. And what the spirit senses do for you, what they are there to do, what they show you, is not how to think about these things. It's not a thinking thing. It has nothing to do with the thinking mind. It's a feeling thing. It's of the heart. It's of what we call the song, our soul, our beingness, our spirit body. And we can learn to access the ones that are taught first, the ones that are the easiest. And they start with the kids. They teach them as soon as they're able to start learning language and answering back, and they're teaching their kids about these spirit senses. One of the spirit senses that they teach first is how to feel. This is not feeling just with your skin, with your sense of touch. That's not what it is. It's the feeling of your heart, the feeling of everything in your body, and the feeling of your energy field. We all make an energy field. Some people call that your auric body. But it has things that it can do and things that it does on a regular basis to collect information and put it inside your body and your mind to tell you about the world around you, and that it enables you to understand what's going on inside your body. You could feel it. It's a feeling thing. And in that way, it's a little bit like emotions. And our emotions can lead us to our spirit senses if we allow ourselves to have more emotional activity. That's another thing that our culture has denied us as a population. You're not supposed to be really emotional. You're not supposed to use your emotions all the time. Your emotions can be really bad, and they can get you in trouble. And you need to be able to turn them off and avoid them, and certainly not feel them deeply or all the time. But the ancients say, "Oh no, you want You want the opposite of that. You want to feel those emotions all the time, and you want to feel them really deeply, especially the positive emotions, the beautiful emotions. They were usually, when they talked about emotions, that's what they were talking about. They weren't talking about fear and anger and hatred and the negative emotions. We refer to those things as emotions, but they didn't necessarily. They felt like they weren't the same thing. Didn't have the same kind of cause. They weren't the same thing. But these beautiful emotions, love and kindness and seeing the beauty of things, uh, feeling, you feel that. You feel a love feeling with that. Very heart centered. What they train their kids and themselves to do is to go into that feeling, go into the happiness, go into the love, go into the beauty. And inside that, in that feeling, if you let yourself feel it, you'll feel it with your whole body. It's like your body is, the blood is rushing and gyrating, and in a really good, beautiful way. You're humming. Your whole body hums. You feel your energy field hum. You feel this happiness, this beauty, this love. And that's when you're starting to cross the border from plain emotions and going into the spirit senses. And there's so many things we don't even have names for in our language. In our understanding of things in the world, we don't have names for what we feel and what we perceive when we dive into that feeling. The first spirit sense that they teach is how to feel your own song, your own spirit, your beingness, your spiritual totality that has existed for eons and eons and eons, and is very, very vast, is very powerful, and is full of boundless, unconditional love. That's your spirit. That's you. That's you in this lifetime, in this body. And it's you when you were in another lifetime and in another body, or you were not being in a body. You were experiencing something else, something in between. And that has a very, very unique signature to it. That's just you. It's not the feeling of any other human. It's your personal signature feeling. You learn how to feel it. You learn how to remember. You remember that when you were born, it's like, oh yeah, when I was a baby, I remember feeling this. I knew that was me. I knew. And as soon as you feel that and you dive in and you you allow yourself to perceive all this information that's coming from the feeling. It's coming in concepts, maybe possibly pictures, or even sounds, or remembering old memories of sounds. And you can remember when you were a baby. And especially when we start dipping into these very, very incredible spiritual feelings, like our own beingness, our own unique individual piece of creator. That's our song. That's our beingness. It's beautiful beyond any words you could ever come up with. And that signature is something that you've known for so long, eons, eons and eons. And it is you. It's like it's your spirit name. May not have any sound to it, but it definitely has a feeling to it. Has that their uniqueness, the signature. And when we have learned that, we can extend it. We can extend it to feel and perceive, sense signatures of other things, other living things. The ancients say that everything is alive. Every atom, every rock, every piece of dirt, all the plants, the animals, the land, the mountains, the waters, the air, the atmosphere, the wind, they're all alive, conscious, thinking, feeling, communicating, and they're all doing their thing, their own thing. And one of the things that they like to do in their existence is to kind of help humans, take care of humans. And we can learn to feel that. We can learn to feel them. It's easiest to learn the ones that are currently embodied. That's a good place to start. And just because of the way we're used to thinking, animals or maybe plants that we think have life, like we have life, they have life. They can die just like we can. And if you turn off all the linear thoughts, just turn them off, no words, turn them off, feel your heart, let yourself feel. We usually start with feeling ourselves, feeling our song, and we reach out. And you can feel your own energy, your own aura there. You can feel yourself reaching out and perceiving. It's a little bit like listening, and a little bit like touching, or taking a good look. But it goes so far beyond that. It goes so far beyond that. You're reaching out to perceive. And what you want to perceive is their aliveness. So say you have your dog. You have a dog, or maybe it's a cat. And you've got it there in the room with you or in the yard. And just reach out with your energy, with your song. Touch them with your song. Touch them with your signature. Feel their response, their energetic response, their aliveness. And when you feel that aliveness, their unique signature is in that. That's their song. And they have their own signature. That's their spirit name. We can do this with anything. We can do this with a tree. We could do it with a rock. Rocks are a little different because they're a different kind of life. We're not used to thinking of them as live. They don't have the same, you know, bouncy liveliness like the dog or the cat. They're a mineral. They're a rock. They're steady. They have different kinds of qualities. But if you reach out and you touch them with your song, with your heart, you go heart to heart with that rock. That rock has a heart. It has an energetic heart like everything else does. And you just, song to song, heart to heart, you perceive. And you'll perceive its aliveness. It's not quite like ours. It's manifesting differently because it's manifesting in a rock, a mineral that sits there still until some other thing comes along and bumps it, or the wind blows it, or somebody picks it up, but it has incredible intelligence and memory like you would never, you just would never think of that a rock was like that. They remember every single thing that has been around them in their whole existence as a rock. They have extraordinarily long lifetimes. They've learned so much. And they're just sitting there. If you're out there in your yard with your cat, your dog, probably got rocks out there, feeling, and I can't stress that word enough. Feel, 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 feel. Just reach out and just keep feeling. And if you reach into that rock, they'll talk to you. They'll answer back. And you'll feel it through your whole body. It's not a thinking thing. Doesn't have anything to do with words. Maybe later your linear mind wants to translate your experience into words. That's okay. Or some other kind of symbols. That's okay. I can help you think about that, remember those things. The mind is a tool. The linear mind is just a tool. We've been taught that it's the boss and the dictator and the great kahuna, that if you have a strong mind, it can take you anywhere and it makes you better than all the other people. And that's not true in any shape or form. It's the way our culture works. Our culture prizes linear thinking over everything else, certainly over feeling. We've tried to diminish the spiritual feelings into oblivion. This whole culture, which has lasted thousands of years. And if you look in certain directions, you see that it's gone on for actually millennia. So we've been taught to diminish ourselves so that somebody else can tell us what to do, who we are, where to go, how to do things, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to be thinking about. how to think like this and think like that. And that's somebody else. Somebody else's ideas of what's cool. Somebody else's ideas of how they can control a very large group of people. I've even heard people say that even now in our modern world, most humans are living as slaves. We eat like slaves. We eat slave food. If you look at the history of what you're eating, we're eating slave food. And we think in terms of being a slave, of being a victim, of being less than, of there's always a hierarchy, and we're at the bottom. And we're probably not going to get up very high in the hierarchy at all, ever. So don't even try. And that's what we've been convinced of. We've been conned. And that's what these ancient religions have been trying to tell us for a very long time. That's why they kept it secret for so long, because they didn't want the knowledge corrupted and they didn't want it to get lost. And they have succeeded. Here we are now at our age, and this era, this world is about to end. And it's time that we wake up from that sleep, from the way of living and thinking and being that makes us slaves. If you don't think that you are living like a slave, you need to take a bigger, longer, deeper look and set some of your current beliefs aside and look at how we are currently being trained, taught as kids, trained as adults, and continue to be trained. It's programming. A lot of ancient traditions, Eastern traditions, have said that we're living in an illusion. And they understood what they meant when they said that. But when we hear that in our culture, we really don't know what they mean. And it sounds so impossible. The way you keep slaves for a long time, I mean a really long time, generations and generations and generations, and you keep them happy where they're at. You have to make their lives pleasant in some way. They have to have some kinds of rewards or things that they think that they are doing and accomplishing themselves when they aren't really. It's there to pacify them, to make them think they have a very nice, happy, fruitful life, when it isn't anywhere near as happy or beautiful or fruitful as it could be if they could get out of the programming. They could wake up from the programming. And that's what your spirit senses do. Well, so far, we've just talked about 3 spirit senses. Feeling. The feeling, the beginning of learning how to feel, how to reach out with your own beingness, with your own love, and touch somebody else with that that energy and see who they are. Say hello. When you're coming from your song, one of the only things you end up saying is, "Oh, hi, I love you. I don't know you yet. Haven't met you before, but ooh, I love you. I feel your aliveness. I feel your song." When we are feeling our own song and we're living from that feeling, there's no judgment. No judgment. There's no power over other. It's a very different way of living and thinking and being. And it allows you to perceive the aliveness of what's around you. If you go out to that big tree outside and just feel from your song, feel its song, its aliveness, and just ask it, what can you show me? What can you share with me? What can you teach me? What kind of love do you have? It will shower you endlessly. It has so much that even when you can't be there next to the tree anymore, it's still sending all of this knowledge and love and beauty beyond anything you've ever dreamt of. These gifts to you. That's what these teachings are about. That's what we have been missing out on in our culture. And our ancestors have been missing out on it for a long time. And they just pass on the programming. When they teach their young and teach you, and you grow up, and they're teaching you the programming that they were taught. They're teaching you the asleepness that they were taught. And we got to break out of that. So you can use your imagination as to what these other spirit senses might be involving that we can perceive. We can use some of them to perceive beings, entities that are alive, conscious thinking, eternal living, that are around us all the time. They're there all the time. Some of them have been personally, they've pledged themselves to you and your family, and they're there in your home with you. They're there wherever you go. You can perceive them. You can perceive the aliveness, the songs that make a mountain alive, or the wind, the atmosphere, a whole planet. The whole planet is alive. All planets are alive. And you can perceive the entity and other entities that are making up that planet and the sun. These are part of our spirit senses. We can perceive history. We can look through the layers of time, going into the past and the probabilities of going into the future. And we can see that. We feel that. It all comes in nonverbal feeling knowledge, pictures maybe some sound, but the nonverbal knowledge, it has no sound, all by itself. It's knowledge, it's knowingness, it's consciousness. And we can perceive it. We can receive the knowledge from it. We can receive the love from it. We could give it love, give it our thoughts and our knowledge. We're doing that all over the universe all the time. And we don't have any idea that we're doing it. But we can become conscious of it. We can become conscious of all these things. This is our birthright. Absolute birthright. So, what does Lora and Helmut have to say?
Thank you, Kay. Beautiful. Very beautiful.
Am I going first again today?
Of course.
Well, I'll share that. It's funny because when I first started doing some of the exercises to learn how to actually feel and listen and to watch what was going on, I didn't realize how much I was missing. And our true nature is love, unconditional love, and that was the first time I really, really knew I was on to something. That but because how do you really, truly experience something if you don't first feel it? And I know Kay always says, feeling is the doorway. Feeling is the doorway to experience, and it truly is. I I wanna share because, I kept practicing stuff. I'd put headphones on and rock around and just practice the visual stuff I just I'd sit outside and just look at a flower just to try and feel the energy and song to song and feel my own song, and I started off with that, but now whenever I go someplace, if I'm riding in a car with Pat in particular, and the whole thing is that if something comes up and I have this feeling that we should slow down or we should stop or we should pull over or whatever, I'm listened to because so many times I'm like, okay, you need to slow down. Well, this last one, I said, okay, I feel like it feels like you need to slow down. And Pat slowed down. She goes, I don't see anything that you need. I was like, I don't know. There's something that you're supposed to slow down for. We come around a corner and if we had been going the same speed, we would have been in a head-on collision. It was like, that's what I was feeling right there. And that seems like a subtle thing, but I mean, and how do you tell people, okay, really learning to feel again, to wake up can have those kind of things and to really trust those kind of things. But what learning to feel really does now is that you realize that connection, that love that's permeating everything, and you get to have that beauty in your life that is not present when you're asleep. You're just not perceiving what's really there when you're in that illusional world that you're being controlled with, you know? It's such a beautiful thing, and it's a sacred thing, and I see it, like, in our book club, we have, several people that show up, and we're all song to song, and we can share, and we're learning from each other, and it's open, we're authentic, and you start to live your life like that as you learn these ancient teachings, and it just makes everything so much richer. And I first read The Reluctant Shaman and then The Sacred Link, and there's just so much information in it, and it just comes together with this book. Thank you so much for your teachings, and it is a sacred journey we're on to learn to feel and to experience our world through those feelings, because otherwise you're just cut off from it. Yeah. Laura, do you have anything you want to share?
Oh, yeah. First of all, just gratitude, just listening today. I'm like, I'm here with you guys. It's just like, it's just like I have so much gratitude to be studying these. And this whole time I kept thinking how available, Kay, you are through YouTube, to be sharing what you're sharing out there with people. When I started, there was a few emails in the book, before I could eventually take a class and do this stuff. But I just like, at first, I just have this huge gratitude and, for the opportunity everybody's getting to be able to hear you, and hear and see you and, and feel you through this experience, what YouTube allows us to do. That's just incredible. And you're talking, God, I'm constantly asked about what is Katasi. When people ask me, what do you do? And I finally have gotten to a point where I say, oh, I am a Katasi shaman. And, they're just like, what? What is that? And the curiosity of it. And, I said, it's, Katasi is a lot of things, but it's us. It's our human potential. It's our human potential forgotten. And, studying these ancient practices just wake us up to ourselves, who we are. And, when I first came to Katasi, I was having, some spirit abilities. Some of them I was afraid of because we're taught to fear a lot of these things. And through Katasi, I've just learned all the ways I was numbing out myself and not truly experiencing things, and I was studying it and having my mind blown, but there was a certain point in my studies, I almost dropped it and saying, I'm amazing. I'm already doing amazing things. I'm already, I'll just stop here, it's like, and, even blushing about it. It's like, thank goodness I didn't, I just can't even imagine right now because, I had that ego. Everybody was telling me I was doing amazing things, and I just couldn't grasp how much more amazing humans can be, how much more, how much I had turned off, and so I just, for those people that, feel like there's nothing more to learn. And for those people who are listening who, believe in that blind belief that you're either born with it or you're not born with it, it's like we all are it. It's the Katasi is this human potential that we don't know. We absolutely don't know. And every day there's a new thing waking up in me. There's new experiences I've never experienced before. And if you step in these studies and you just really stay the course and practice them. And the beautiful thing is what I love, we're all doing it for ourselves. We all come, and those are who really get the magic of it and get the opportunities or here for themselves. Ultimately, they want those 360 senses like I do. And but the community around this, being in a community that's all connecting with their song, encouraging each other, because we're all waking up in different ways. Out of those 360s, we're each having them wake up in different ways, in beautiful ways, some alike, some different. But I can honestly say I've had so much more wake up, so much more. This aliveness and this potential and all those things Kay's talking about, it's the hearing, the knowingness, the experience of the beauty in this world. It's all there. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. I know Laura and I are the same way. We're going for it. We're going for it all. And I love being surrounded by other people going for it. So whether if you think you have zero or you think you've already met your limit, I can honestly say in both cases, those, you haven't, those are both untruths, and we'd love to show you. Come join us and learn what you can really do. And grateful. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Kay. Helmet.
Yes. I'm just eternally enormously grateful to have been able to study these teachings for so many years and living with Kay and practicing them every day because of it. And with that, step by step, waking up more and more and understanding more and more and being able to step out of the muggle world coma and the muggle world slavery and learning more and more to understand who I am, why I'm here, and what life is really about, how amazing it is, how wondrous, how beautiful, and the love and the beauty and the caring and being able to understand the aliveness of everything and living it. It's like Muggle World Coma, and then the opportunity to learn and live this. It reminds me of what Kay always said about her teachers, Tamana and Chia, that they called us the walking dead. And that is truly the difference. You wake up, you resurrect from the coma, from the walking dead. And that's the opportunity. And I'm just, to repeat again, I am eternally grateful for having had that opportunity and continue to have that opportunity and being able to do it with you guys and with our community and everybody that joins and jumps in and gets on the same journey. It's just, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Anybody else?
Mhm. You guys have spoken to a lot of what these experiences are, what the spirit senses are, how they impact your lives. And they will impact everything about your life and make it better, make it richer. Laura, you use that word, makes it richer. What a nice word, perfectly chosen. Because it is. It's hard to describe these things, and it's hard to tell people that it will make their life so much richer in every respect. I know for myself, growing up a fine young muggle, and we use that word very lovingly as a modern people, the modern people who are, most of those people are asleep, walking around in different degrees of asleepness. And I was there. I was so much one of them, so much asleep. And I would have my moments and sometimes my real deep interests would would pop up as a youngster for a short period of time. And I could feel that. Looking back on it, I could even, I was feeling my song, and I was feeling what I came here to do, my purpose in life, things I wanted to experience and accomplish. And I had those thoughts, those desires, those interests way back in early childhood. But when we are being trained to be asleep, we're trying to be good people. We're trying to do what our parents are teaching us, and the teachers and the movies and the whole public. We've learned how to police ourselves and each other so that we stay in that fog. And I was right there when I met my teachers. I was heavy in that fog. And even being that asleep and living that kind of life and expectations, and I could see that there was something very different about Damano and Chia. I met Damano first, and he was shorter than me considerably, and older, a lot older, and he played up the old guy, little old crippled guy act really well, so that I'd feel really sorry for him. And I wouldn't be rude to him, and I'd listen to him, which I did finally. I listened. And whatever made me go to his house, he invited me to his house and to meet his wife and learn the things that he wanted to teach me, to give me. And he was funny. He could be very funny. And he had this little old, crippled, kind of bent thing that he did. This very good actor. And I believed it. I had no other reason than to believe that, because that's what the whole culture teaches. When you get old, you get crippled like that, and a little funny, a little screwy funny in the head. And then he took me down to the beach to meet his wife. There wasn't anybody else on the beach. And she was way out in the sand, way out there. And she was walking toward us, not very fast. We were walking toward her. And he said, "Oh, there's my wife. There's Chia." And I could feel her, even at that distance. And even though that my eyesight at a distance was not all that great, I could, get away without wearing glasses a lot, as long as I didn't have to try to read big signs or something like that. But we learn how to see what's happening when somebody's just walking. She wasn't walking like a little old lady who's going to fall over any minute, and walking slow, like, "Oh, I'm going to get out of breath here. Oh, this is hard." She was walking very straight and very purposeful, not fast, but there was a lot of energy in her walk, and there was a lot of strength in her walk. And she was just sending out all this energy to us, which in hindsight, I could see is quite beautiful. I could feel that it was quite beautiful. very knowledgeable, very beautiful, wanting to help, wanting to give me something and to be kind. But what I twisted that into in my head, then that's that programming. That's that slave programming, that mental fog. You believe your old beliefs. You think you're seeing verification for your old beliefs. I had never seen a woman with total white hair. And obviously she had some age, and she was married to him, and he was all wrinkled. And the two of them had to be pretty old. And she wasn't behaving according to her age, the way our culture says you should behave. She had a strength about her and a purpose about her, and just a consistency, persistent, a tenacity, and coming straight at me. Not very fast, but coming right at me, and I knew that she would get up a lot closer. She just scared me to death. Just my mind twisted, to every kind of dark horror movie I'd ever seen, with people who did black magic, and it all was just haunting me. I was terrified, but I didn't have the sense to turn around and run, or I was trying to be polite to Damano, and I wanted to be polite to her. Her energy just froze me in the spot in terror. She did not fit the picture of any really old grandma that I had ever seen in person or in a movie or ever heard in a story. And I could not add that up. And I couldn't see it at the time, but I could feel it in my body. My whole energy field recorded it. Later, looking back into it, I could see that she was very happy and very, very peaceful. She didn't have a smile on her face. She's kind of stone-faced, which was really common for her to be kind of stone-faced. And I missed out on the beauty, the feeling of her wisdom, of her life experience, the happiness that she had, the memories that she held, the knowledge that she holds, and the sincere desire of wanting to give me her knowledge, which is something that I'd never heard anything like that before. That's like, that doesn't exist. And I couldn't feel it at all in that terror. I couldn't perceive it. My mind made tricks about what I was seeing. But I was still polite. My parents had trained me well. These were elders, and I was still polite. And I certainly wasn't sure I wanted to learn from them because they scared me to death. He scared me, but not as much as her. She really, really scared me. But after getting to know him for a little bit and having a few visits, he started doing some things that just scared the crap out of me. It was so unexpected. And he could act and behave and do things with his physical body like a 30-year-old man. He could be really fast, have incredible flexibility, movement. And those were things that my belief said, impossible. It's impossible. It can't happen. This can't exist. But there it was right in front of me. But one of the things that we can do with our spirit senses is look into ourselves, into our own memory. We can look into the past. And we can see these things. We can roll the movie back and see what was really there, what was really going on. What did he really do? What was he trying to prove, trying to show me? What was she really like? What did she really do when I met her and all the other times that we spent together? I held that fear about her for probably at least the whole first year, maybe more than that. I got a little better, a little better. But as long as I was holding on to my old beliefs and the old way of life, the old way of thinking, of feeling, of jumping to conclusions, and my linear mind coming up with all this movies that I had seen through my life, this crap that I learned from make believe, trying to fit all those pieces together. It was worth it. I'm glad I stayed. I think for the first few months, maybe the whole first year, I was like, I always had this back door open behind me, ready to dive. I'm ready to run anytime. The things they were teaching me, this knowledge about song and the feeling of your own song, and that your song is so powerful, so full of love, made of love. It has so many different abilities and so many potentials. We humans just don't have any idea. Most humans don't have any idea whatsoever. But as you begin to learn them, and you can do them yourself, you can live them yourself, experience them yourself, use them to benefit you and other people, and help other people, and heal other people, and bring better futures, and it just goes on and on and on. Yeah, I am so glad I stayed. And when I got a good bite and a really good taste of it, like the girls here, the ladies here, I was just like, I wanted it all. I wanted whatever all is, they've got it. And the Jamana and Chia had it, I wanted it. Whatever it is I saw or felt. And I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what I was feeling, because I'd never felt that in anybody else's presence. Very worth it. And when they tell me about how if I heal myself, if I could heal all these programming and injuries in myself and my way of thinking and clean that all up and learn new ways, beautiful, loving, healthy ways of being and thinking and feeling, that I'm not only helping me, I'm helping my kids. I'm helping everyone around me. I'm helping the person next to me in line at the grocery store. I'm helping all of humanity, because all of this gets recorded into the whole total human consciousness, and it helps everybody be able to wake up out of the stupor like this, to be free. This is what real freedom is. You hear a lot of talk these days about freedom, 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 and we're free, and we believe in freedom, and we want our rah, rah, rah. That's one kind of freedom, a social freedom, but real freedom is when your mind is free and you're no longer held asleep, held in this coma. Like it was said, The Walking Dead. Breaking out of that, waking up from that, that's real freedom. And there's so many things I can list that you would become free from. We'd be here for hours.
Let's do it.
Okay. My last 2 cents for the day.
Beautiful. Thanks for adding that. Maybe we should do a show of all the list, all the things that you free yourself from. That can be very hard. Thank you, Kay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It is such an honor. It's an honor that I never thought I would have as I was growing up, or as I was studying with my teachers and wanting to learn all the things that they knew and that they wanted to teach me. And it is an incredible honor to be here teaching it to others, sharing it to others, giving it, giving it, giving it, giving it. I can't give it away enough or fast enough or to as many as I want. Because I want all of humanity to wake up, just like the Hedekas talked about, to live in a culture that is not pre-programmed and not asleep, not imprisoned, and not toting the party line and drinking the Kool-Aid all the time. Free, really free, to explore their own potentials. I'm free to explore my potentials, which delights me and blows me away.
Okay. If you want to learn more and continue learning, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on, and check out our website where you can find resources on everything we talked about today. And also in the description, there are some links where you can check out more. Anything else you ladies want to add? You good? Great show. Thank you, Lora, and thank you, Kay. And thanks everybody for joining us live. And thanks everybody for watching later. Love you. We see you next time.